So, what if you could just download 26 years of trading experience directly into your brain? All the hard lessons, the brutal truths, the stuff that actually works. Well, that's what we're going to do today. We are going to distill over 2 decades of real-world trading wisdom into a simple, actionable roadmap. Let's dive in.
And let's get one thing straight right off the bat. This isn't some cheesy listicle or a bunch of theory from a textbook. These insights were forged in the fire, learned with real money on the line in a real market. This is the stuff that really matters.
Here is the very first and maybe most important mindset shift you gotta make. The market doesn't care if you're a brand new trader or if you just blew up your 10th account. Yesterday is gone. It is a clean slate every single morning. The only thing that truly matters is your very next move.
Okay, so where do we start building? We start with a foundation of, believe it or not, radical simplification. Here's a hard truth for you. You probably need way less information than you think you do to actually succeed at this.
Just one. That's it. That's all you need. One simple edge you understand inside and out. One niche, one asset, one setup that you can absolutely master and make your own. That right there is the real key to long-term profitability.
And look, this lays out the 2 paths so clearly, doesn't it? On one side, you've got the focused trader mastering one simple edge. On the other, you have the struggling trader, drowning in dozens of indicators, chasing every shiny new object. The takeaway here is so clear. Focus is your absolute superpower.
All right, once we have that simple foundation in place, we can start building a solid process. Because, success in trading isn't about one big lucky win. It's the direct result of disciplined, consistent habits that you practice day in and day out. And it really boils down to these 3 pillars, these core habits of a winning process: maximizing your screen time, mastering your position sizing, and focusing on your execution, not the money.
I absolutely love this analogy because it's just perfect. The market is like a movie playing on a loop. If you watch it 1,000 times, you're going to start to see every little nuance, every subtle pattern. That's how you develop that feel, that 6th sense for what your asset is doing.
Now this brings us to a huge, critical question. How much should you actually risk on a trade? Because let me tell you, traders don't usually blow up from one bad trade. They blow up from one huge bad trade. And the answer is surprisingly simple. Your position size should be small enough that you can walk away from the screen and not even think about it. If you're feeling stressed, if your heart is pounding, you are risking too much, period. The goal here is to learn and survive, not get rich overnight. This illustrates that final, crucial habit: focus. Your only job is to make one good trade, then make another one. And the most critical rule to make this happen: never, ever look at your profit and loss during the day. It is nothing but an emotional trap. So, you've got a process, but how do you measure it? How do you know if you're getting better? Well, that's where a system comes in. This is the part that turns trading from a gambling hobby into a legitimate business. And any good business runs on data. First, we have to totally redefine what a loss even means. An acceptable loss isn't a mistake. It's just the cost of doing business. Think of it like the gas you put in your car to get to work. It's a calculated, necessary expense to find the winners. And remember, not all trades are created equal. A ranking system like this helps you tell the difference. Your A-plus home run setups, yeah, you put more risk on those. But those 50-50 coin flips, you sit on your hands and wait. Without a system, you're just guessing. So how do you build this personal system? You journal. Every single trade. The source tells this great story about how for years he thought he was a terrible stock picker. But his journal showed him the truth. His problem was emotional. He was panicking and selling winning trades way too early. Without that data, he never would have known.
And that leads us to the final and by far the most important piece of this entire puzzle. See, you can have the best system in the entire world, but it won't matter one bit if you haven't conquered your own mind.
This is it. This is the ultimate truth of trading. The market isn't your enemy. Your broker isn't your enemy. The single greatest opponent you will ever face is staring back at you in the mirror. And this is where that enemy does the most damage. We already talked about acceptable losses, the cost of business, but unacceptable losses, the ones born from fear, greed, or revenge, those are the account killers. They have to be eliminated completely. So how do you protect yourself from yourself? With hard, non-negotiable rules.
A 3 losses in a row and you're done for the day rule. A max loss number that means you get the heck out no matter what. When your rule is hit, you walk away. No excuses, no exceptions. These are your circuit breakers.
And finally, don't try to do this alone. But you need to understand the real purpose of a trading community or a mentor. You're not there for hot stock tips or alerts. You're there for the psychological support. Only another trader truly understands the pressure. They're the ones who keep you sane. So you have the foundation. You have the process. You have the system, and you're working on the mindset. You have all the knowledge. But there's one final step to get from being just okay to being truly great. Who can take that step for you? That's right, you. In the end, it's all on you. A mentor can guide you, a community can support you, but that last step, that's a leap you have to take all by yourself.
So here we are. You have the full roadmap, built from 26 years of brutal, real-world experience. It's all laid out for you. The only question left is the one we started with. What is going to be your next step?